Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The Bulldozers are back on the streets of Uttar Pradesh. Today, Don Atiq Ahmed, who's currently lodged in jail, faced the brunt of the Bulldozer Baba. House of his aide, Zafar Ahmed, was raised down by the authorities in Prayagraj. This crackdown comes days after a heated debate took place in UP Assembly, where Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath promised to raise the Mafia into the ground. A political face-off has also erupted after the bulldozer was seen in action. Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav questioned law and order in the state. But Yogi Adityanath again hit back, saying previous governments gave UP one district, one mafia, while their government has given, for example, one district, one product, which is a very popular scheme of the Yogi government. Time and again, we've seen bulldozers in action in the state. Yogi Adityanath government has always taken a stern stand against criminals, be it Prayagraj Don Atiq Ahmed or Bahubali Neta Mao Akhtar Ansari. Even Yogi's political campaign, remember, for the last UP Assembly elections was very much based on improving law and order in the state. The bulldozer had become his symbol. So is this bulldozer action, in this case, sending the right message to the mafia? And who and why should have any problems with it? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit, but let's just go back a little bit in time and understand what this latest row is all about. So Atiq Ahmed is a notorious Don. He's accused in the 2005 BSP MLA murder case. On February 24 this year, key witness in that case, Umesh Pal, was murdered. According to the police, Atiq's son hatched the conspiracy. An FIR was registered against Atiq, who's in jail, and also his family members. One of the accused, Arbaz, has since been killed in a police encounter, and today Atiq's aide, Zafar Ahmed's house was also bulldozed. Let's also break down the big faces of this very filmy style shootout that took place, and then the very UP style encounter, and now the bulldozers that have come out in action. So Atiq Ahmed, he's the notorious Mafia Don come politician. He's been named in the FIR as well. He is believed to be the one at the behest of whom this entire murder plot was hatched. Atiq's brother is Ashraf, also named in the FIR. Assailants actually met him in jail. He's also in jail along with Atiq Ahmed. Atiq's wife, Shaista Parveen, also named in the FIR. She is an alleged co-conspirator as far as this case is concerned. Shadadat Khan, he's been pictured with several politicians across the political spectrum. He's clearly very well connected. And apparently, allegedly, the plot was hatched at his hostel. Now, one of Atiq's son, Asad, he's seen in the shootout murder, caught on camera, firing at Umesh. So he's one of the accused, currently absconding, we are told. Nafis Ahmed, another assailant, also owner of the Creta car that is seen in the shootout. Arbaz is a shooter. He's one of the accused. But as I mentioned earlier, he's one of the accused that has already been killed by the police in an encounter. Guddu Muslim is another shooter absconding. Mohammad Ghulam, another shooter who is absconding. All of these individuals are currently being looked at, but the center of the controversy is, of course, Atiq Ahmed. Politics has broken out in Uttar Pradesh. As expected over these developments, here is what both sides are saying. The government claims that they have zero tolerance as far as especially criminals or mafia in Uttar Pradesh is concerned, but the opposition alleges that law and order actually in Uttar Pradesh is in tatters. Hideouts of mafia are being raided. This is what the Yogi-led government says. Opposition says that actually fake encounters are now commonplace in Uttar Pradesh, and this is not really law. Government says gangsters are being shielded by the opposition, but the others have hit back saying that it's actually BJP leaders who have connections with criminals. So aside from the politics here, one thing the Yogi-led government cannot be accused of is being nice to mafia dons. In fact, both the terms of the BJP governments in Uttar Pradesh have been laced with regular showdowns with dons. So let me just enumerate them as well. Vikas Dubey, remember he had 61 criminal cases against him. He was killed in an encounter by the UP police. His property worth 50 crores was also seized. Mukhtar Ansari, BSP MLA, has over 40 criminal cases. He's lodged in UP's jail. His property worth 192 crore rupees is either demolished or seized. Atiq Ahmed, Don turned Neta, has over 100 criminal cases against him, lodged in a jail in Gujarat. His property worth 150 crore rupees has been attached. Sundar Bhati, lodged in Sonbhadra jail, has over 50 criminal cases against him. His property, vehicles worth 50 crore rupees have been seized. And there are some more examples. And this is apart from action against Azam Khan, for example, that has been in news, especially for recovering land allegedly grabbed by the politician. The big debate that's coming in today, as far as the bulldozer action is concerned, some are up in arms. Is this sending a right message, especially in this case to Mafia, or is this just not the way that a state government should function?
अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया, उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है।
देखिए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर डायलॉग से नहीं ठीक होगा। लॉ एंड ऑर्डर किसी डायलॉग से नहीं ठीक हो सकता है कि मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। आपने मिट्टी में मिला देने के लिए कहा, अमेठी में 2 की हत्या हो गई।
हर समस्या के 2 समाधान होते हैं, भाग लो या भाग लो। उसका सामना करो, उस प्रकार की कार्य योजना बनाओ और उसके समाधान के स्तर पर पहुंचाओ, जैसे कि 6 वर्ष के अंदर किया गया।
पूरी तरह से कानून व्यवस्था ध्वस्त है, पूरी तरह से मुलजिम पकड़ नहीं पा रहे, सताए जाएंगे लोग, निर्दोष लोग सताए जाएंगे, असली मुलजिम पकड़ नहीं पा रहे।
Guest joining us on the show, Anila Singh of the BJP, Nahid Lari Khan is from the Samajwadi Party, Sudhendra Bhadoria, political analyst, leans towards the BSP, Arvind Kumar Jain is former UP DGP, Karan Verma, author and analyst, also joining us. Let me go across to Nahid first as the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. I want to understand exactly who has a problem with what has happened today or what has happened over the last few days. We know that these are mafia dons. They've had their writ run large in Uttar Pradesh. If the government is cracking down on them, should anyone have a problem, Nahid?
Shivani ji, it doesn't seem that there is government on one side and gang on one side. It seems that both sides they are gang. One side there is that original gang and one side is BJP gang. One side, one gang is shooting and throwing bombs and murdering people openly in broad daylight, and there is another gang which is running Bulldozer. This is not the way the government functions.
But is it fair? Is it fair to equate the government's bulldozer action against what they claim are illegal properties built illegally with what a don does or what a mafia people in a shootout do? Is this a fair comparison?
Shivani ji, at least if you have asked me to speak, then at least allow me at least 2 minutes to speak uninterrupted, then you can come to question me.
Go ahead, madam.
See, this is Honorable Supreme Court has said for Yogi Sarkar that there is Jungle Raj in UP, and there is this the language of Jungle Raj. This is the language of Jungle Raj that the MP of BJP and the Minister of BJP is saying that gaadi palat jayegi. This is not the language of a Kanun Raj. This is not the language of a Law Raj. This is the language of Jungle Raj. In Jungle Raj, a person openly says that if you behead this one, I will give you 25 lakh rupees. If you behead that one, I will give you 1 crore rupees. And openly in media, and no action is taken against this person. He's not arrested. They are not arrested. Why? Because there is no fear. There is no fear in them. This is known as Jungle Raj. This is the language of Jungle Raj. There is no fear in them.
Okay.
And then you're talking about Bulldozer. See, I also have seen in news, just today so many news has shown that the Bulldozer action that has been taken place is not Atiq's house. It is
his aide's house.
ANI reporter Zafar Ahmed's house, and he had rented his house to senior BSP leader Shaista Parveen, who also happens to be Atiq's wife. And senior BSP leader Shaista Parveen has rented this house because her mica is right in front of this house. So this is not the way. And if you see that there is no law and order in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, I'll come to that one by one. Let me take Anila Singh's response. Anila Singh, the opposition today is saying that it's actually gang versus gang. The government is not behaving like a government. The government is behaving like a gangster.
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I am not at all surprised the language which is being used by Samajwadi Party spokesperson, because this is the character of Samajwadi Party and they understand this language only, language of mafia, don, gunda, apradhi, and because they indulge with these people, so definitely they are going to use the same language as these people uses the language.
What about the government
language.
action? Is this how a government behaves?
What government has done wrong? I mean, this. Let me tell you one thing here, Shivani. Whether we talk about Miss Larry Khan or any of their spokesperson, or to say the BSP spokesperson or the Congress spokesperson, they have got they are full of nonsense and lack of knowledge. This particular house.
Only knowledge you have.
I'm surprised when a reporter owns a house of 4 crores. But let me tell you here, this house was demolished because it was not made according to the guidelines of Prayagraj Development Authority. So any building which does not goes according to the guidelines of Development Authority, then authority has got full right.
No. One second. Let me come in. It's convenient, Anila saying that the authorities remember when there is a case brewing. इतने सालों से authorities को नहीं याद आ रहा था कि guidelines नहीं meet हो रही थी. सडनली कुछ कांड हो जाता है उत्तर प्रदेश में, तो सडनली बुलडोजर आ जाता है, आप सब चिट्टा पिट्टा निकाल देते हैं, किसका इलीगल है किसका नहीं है, बाद में पता चलता है नोटिस भेजा गया था या नहीं भेजा गया था. ये क्या तरीका होता है? ये पोस्ट रियलाइजेशन क्यों होती है आपको?
आपको अच्छे से समझिएगा शिवानी जी. 4,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा की ये जो माफिया ये डॉन और ये क्रिमिनल्स हैं, इनकी प्रॉपर्टीज को कॉन्फिस्केट किया गया है या डिमोलिश किया गया है. ये क्या आपको लगता है कि एक दिन में हो जाती हैं? The thing is, you should appreciate even if action is taken in today's date, action is being taken.
But how?
The reality
is there no maryada of the law, of the regulations for the government? आप घर तोड़ देते हो लोगों का.
जी,
मैं कह रही हूँ कि क्या कोई मर्यादा नहीं होती इस तरह के एक्शन की?
नहीं, ये बहुत अच्छी मर्यादा है कि आप कानून तोड़िए, ये बहुत अच्छी मर्यादा है. अथॉरिटीज अपना काम लीगली तरीके से करें, वो मर्यादित नहीं.
गाड़ी पलटने वाली बात ऑल्सो प्लीज आस्क.
कानून नहीं माने आप मर्यादित हैं, और जो कानून से काम करें वो अमर्यादित है. What is this definition?
Because that's the difference between a government and a gangster that Mr. Nari is talking about. But let me bring in Sudhindra Bhadoria here. The government. Once again, I'll come back to you on the Gadi comment also, Sudhindra Bhadoria. Why should anyone have a problem, especially when in this case, the ones who are facing the brunt of the law, whether it is applied belatedly or not, the ones who are facing the action are actually dons or their aides. Why should anyone have sympathy? Why should anyone have a problem?
Well, let me put your debate in perspective. You see, as far as the common citizens are concerned in this country, and more particularly in Uttar Pradesh, they expect that there shall be a certain amount of law and order. They will be free to go about and do their activities. We have seen that of late, particularly, there has been an issue of law and order, and that has to be handled. And there should be fear of law as well. I think as far as the constitution is concerned, the guidelines are laid, the CRPC is there, the IPC is there, and under these provisions, the people who are indulging in activities which is against the law, which is against the common citizens of this state of Uttar Pradesh, the government must act. I think all criminals, they have no caste or no religion. The criminals are criminals and they should be dealt with iron hands. And as far as ordinary citizens are concerned, they want action to be taken, and whichever be the criminal.
So
now, as far as
do you believe that these actions by the government are being politicized unnecessarily then? That also the caste and the religion of these so-called people who face the brunt is being brought in by the opposition unnecessarily then?
Well, you see, if there is this kind of action which is against the law, against the constitution, the Supreme Court is there, The high courts are available, other courts remedies are available. They are free to go there, and I'm quite sure the law of the land will protect them. But if they are criminals, hardcore criminals, why should we support them?
Exactly.
I think there is no reason that any sympathy should be shown to any criminal.
Which
They
is why
should be
there is no
dealt with
sympathy
iron
on the
hands, and this is
ground,
my
and the
firm
opposition
view.
finds itself, for example, the Samajwadi Party finds itself on the wrong side of the public mood. Yogi Adityanath wasn't voted back because he wasn't going to act against quote-unquote criminals and mafias. Nariji, very quickly, I'll allow you 30 seconds. You are the ones who's sounding out of touch with what the public wants. Fundamentally, the public has reposed faith in Yogi Adityanath to actually sort out the law and order. Like he said today, earlier there was one district, one mafia. Today there is one district, one product.
Shivani ji, if you talk about BJP is not a party. It is a gang. It is a giroh. It's a tolly of gangsters. It's a tolly of dacoits. It's a tolly of mafia, bhrashtacharis, rapists. It's a tolly. It's a gang. And right now, I wanted to ask Anila ji, what sort of a language is this? That one of the MP of BJP was saying, जैसे विकास दुबे की गाड़ी पलटी वैसी, मतलब openly he is accepting.
Yes, Anila ji, respond to that.
BJP सरकार ने गाड़ी पलटाई.
Should MPs be talking like this?
I appeal from Honorable Supreme Court to take suo motu cognizance of this MP and to take strict action against.
Okay, let her respond. Let her respond. Otherwise, we won't be able to hear her. Let her respond. You both can't speak at the same time. Anila ji, respond. What kind of language or insinuation is this from an MP? This is not what we elect lawmakers for. That is also true.
No insinuation, Shivani. He has exercised his right to speech. उनकी मनोकामना है, उनकी मन की इच्छा है कि गाड़ी पलट सकती है, उन्होंने बोल दिया. राइट टू स्पीच इन्हीं लोगों का होता है क्या?
So this is the language of jungle raj. This is not the language of Kanun Raj. This is not the language of law and order. This means that there is no law and order in Uttar Pradesh. It shows that there is jungle raj in Uttar Pradesh where everybody is speaking what they want to do. Everybody is doing what they want to do.
Let her finish. Let her finish. We cannot hear both of you at the same time. Let her finish. Both your audios are not coming at the same time. Anila ji, please finish.
Is with Akhilesh Yadav. So Samajwadi Party is very scared. Right to speech अगर कोई एक्सरसाइज करता है साहब, केवल आपका अधिकार नहीं होता है, इस भारतवर्ष में रहने वाले हर नागरिक का होता है. ये संविधान ने
नहीं, ये राइट टू स्पीच की बात नहीं है. राइट टू स्पीच तो उनका है, इसलिए वो बोल दिया, उनके ऊपर कोई एक्शन भी नहीं हो सकेगा. बट देयर इज अ सर्टेन मैसेज दैट दोज इन पावर नीड टू सेंड. Arvind Kumar Jain, is the government sending the right message, or is the message coming from the government also laced with a little bit of a problem?
Government is sending the right message. Government has given the message that if you indulge in crime, if you indulge in mafia activities, drastic action shall be taken against you because you have already violated law. This house has been demolished under Section 27 of Urban Planning Act of Uttar Pradesh. Several notices had been issued that this is illegal construction. There is no map of this house. This house was being used by shooters of this Umesh Pal murder and of gunner yes. Sanjay Nishad, young gunner of Uttar Pradesh Police. So why the house should not be demolished? Because it's illegal construction. Prayagraj Development Authority asked for police support because otherwise they would have been massacred in that locality. Police support was provided to them. Prayagraj Development Authority has demolished and they have full right to do it. They have full papers with them. Now the message has gone to all the criminals, to all the people who have violated law in Uttar Pradesh, that if you indulge in crime, you shall be dealt with like this. Okay. I agree with this. हमें जब सर्विस में आया सिखाया गया था कि किसी भी भले आदमी को मत छेड़िए, पर अगर कोई आपको छेड़ता है तो उसको मत छोड़िए. तो ये पॉलिसी अपनाई जा रही है. I agree with this, and drastic action is being taken against these criminals. Yeah. Okay. And
Karan Verma, this is what makes Yogi Adityanath popular. He knows exactly what the UP government, the people want, because the public has suffered for far too long at the hands of these quote-unquote mafias and criminals and dons, and they were untouchable for a very long time. Nobody can deny that.
Shivani, I have waited patiently, so I just hope nobody interrupts. I want to put some facts here on board. 61% dacoity cases have come down ever since Yogi has taken as chief minister. Robbery cases 81% down, 54% reduction in crime against women. These are NCRB figures that I'm quoting. 59% conviction in cases against women. Number one state in the country. The national average is 26%. Now, there's been a lot of brouhaha about the use of bulldozer and all these things. A.K. Jain Saab rightly pointed out the Prayagraj Development Authority, how they did it. There are other provisions also by which this has happened. I want to point that out. The Gangsters Act. The use of Gangsters Act has risen by 44% and rightly so. I'll give you an instance of Ram Navami. Last year in Ram Navami, where states like Rajasthan and Jharkhand were facing a crisis, UP did not face that much of a crisis because it was implemented. We need preventive action, and the Yogi government has implemented the Gangster Act. Section 14 of the Gangster Act allows us to confiscate properties of gangsters. Again, Section 83 of the CRPC Act, in case there is an absconder, the government is very well within its purview to attach the property. They've also passed the Compensation for Damage to Public and Private Property Act in 2020. So the Yogi government is very much going by the rule book, and it's sending out a stern message, which is also producing rich results at the ground. You must understand, UP has made record investment in police infrastructure, in recruitment. So let's understand this. UP is actually, for the first time, a return of law and order. We were done with the Nahid Hassans of the world. We were done with the party, the Samajwadi Party, which had a soft corner for Waliullah Khan, a man who was sentenced to death and they tried to release. Leave aside criminals and mafias, Samajwadi Party had a soft corner for terror accused. For Varanasi blast, they wanted to release them. So this is a welcome change, and UP is ready to embrace that.
Can I ask Sudhindra Bhadoria that this is exactly what UP politics needs now, and parties in the past, parties in power in the past in UP, like the Samajwadi Party and the BSP, were guilty of sheltering exactly these elements for far too long?
Well, I don't agree with this premise of yours. I think there is criminalization of politics, and you will find criminals in all political parties. You can't be partisan about criminalization of being of one party or the other alone. There are, of course, criminals in various political parties, and we have to do away with the criminalization of politics and the criminals within the political system, and for which stern law is required. We have to have electoral reforms. We must ban these criminals from contesting elections, and huge money power is there with these criminals, and therefore they get into the election fray. I think all political parties, and whichever be the government, let the government take a lead in this matter and try and see. This debate has been going there for a long time, for last many decades, but no government, any government which is in power, they do speak against the criminals, but while in power, they don't take any steps to do away with the criminalization of politics.
That's what my point was. It wasn't about those with criminal antecedents in politics alone. My point was that when governments are in power, why are they not coming down like a ton of bricks with the legal provisions on these mafias and gangsters and dons and confiscate their properties, which is what the Yogi government is doing now. And politically, you can accuse him of bulldozer politics or whatever. Ultimately, this is working on the ground in Uttar Pradesh. That's what he's been voted for. And there seems to be little sympathy for the other side. I leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us for our top debate.